reconciliation. Without realizing it, Mildred has substituted a worldly process for the biblical one. Had she known God's process and how to use it, she would have proceeded very differently, probably with different results. The same could be said of Cliff and his counseling of Brad. Knowing and using the biblical process can make all the difference in the world. It can bring about change that honors God and helps others. Some change comes swiftly, requiring minimal effort and little or no help from others. Other change comes hard and calls for the intervention of a counselor. Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. Since counselors are often stymied by the difficulties of bringing about the more stubborn sort of change, this book aims to set forth the scriptural ways and means of helping effect that kind of change. Change of the easier sort often comes with simple biblical instruction, how-to guidance, and encouragement. Even such minimal assistance can be a problem to an erstwhile counselor who does not know the Scriptures well or how to implement them in particular situations. For such people, this book should afford more than ample information. But its focus is on the more difficult yet fairly common problems the average counselor encounters daily. While touching on many aspects of counseling, this book does so from its own perspective. It is specifically designed to elucidate the process of counseling. I have often mentioned and illustrated that process, but not in the focused and systematic way that four-step biblical process is set forth here. Though ideas and procedures contained here may be found scattered throughout my other works, this book presents a fresh perspective not only on how to counsel, but also on what measures to take at what stages of counseling. It is a major effort to bring more ripened and mature thought to the counseling process, so that the average counselor will be able to use it in his day-to-day practice straight from the page. Because this book readily could be used in a second or third course in counseling, I have included assignments in the PDF that accompanies this audiobook. These, creatively adapted, may be followed by instructors or by small groups using this textbook. More assignments than are necessary are given, allowing for choices and variety. Individuals reading on their own also will gain more from the book by doing the assignments. May the God of all grace, who has allowed me the opportunity once more to write, bless these efforts to help you help many others. J. E. Adams, Dean of the Institute of Pastoral Studies, the Christian Counseling and Educational Foundation, Director of Advanced Studies, Westminster Seminary in California. Introduction. Counselors agree on few things. Over the years, I have stressed that the proliferation of counseling and psychotherapeutic systems strongly evidences both confusion and conflict within psychological and psychiatric ranks. The plain fact is that no consensus is possible on the prevailing assumption that man's problems can be solved apart from Jesus Christ. As most counselors scoff at the biblical views of man, God, and the universe, one should not be surprised at Carl Rogers's admission that the field of counseling is in a state of chaos. Given such disharmony, it might surprise you when I say that counselors of all stripes hold one point in common. No matter how divergent their dogmas, all counselors, Christians included, agree that the aim of counseling is to change people. Change, whether in the counselee's thinking, feeling, behavior, attitude, sensitivity, awareness, or understanding, is the goal of all counseling. Because change is central to counseling and therefore vitally important, the Christian counselor must come to a scriptural understanding of change in all of its dimensions, its nature, goals, and process. Otherwise, he might as well forget about helping others change, and when comparing ideas with counselors of a humanistic bent, he will have nothing better to offer. There is no excuse for being caught unprepared. In His Word, God has spoken definitively about change. But to become fully conversant with what He has said, and to be able to organize and use biblical truth,